we have the potential to do more in the area of conflict resolution. We've obviously come through our own peace process in recent times. We have a huge amount of experience to offer. I can tell you, I was speaking to one of my colleagues yesterday, and he's actively involved in the Colombian peace process. And you know, there's been an absolute nightmare in Colombia, again, based on some of the issues that Tom talked about, the abuse of huge resources that belong to the people, putting it in the hands of the very, very few. They then use paramilitary murder squads to attack the brave trade union leaders and human rights defenders who stand up. But even there, in a conflict that seems so intractable, there's a potential for our experience here in Ireland to be used. So neutrality is positive. It is something that we can be proud of. We also have been, of course, a colonised people. You know, we haven't invaded another country, we have been colonised. That's our experience. And from that, that gives us the moral strength to play a role in conflict resolution, to be honest brokers. So we have the potential from our history, from people like Sean McBride, Mary Robinson, to play a really major role for such a small country in conflict resolution globally. So that's the context of our approach. What have we seen in recent times and recent decades? We've seen the increasing ambition of elites within Europe to have a European superpower with a European army connected into the whole NATO project. That is against the interests of the Irish people. We have seen the erosion of our neutrality in terms of partnership for peace, in terms of EU battle groups, this gradual erosion with our participation with NATO countries in military operations. And also we see now coming through to today the participation of 8 of our defence forces in Mali without a debate in the Dáil. Because under the so-called triple lock arrangement, the executive of the Irish government can send defence forces without a debate as long as it's not more than, that it's less than 12. So we've had no debate about the serious concerns in Mali of human rights abuses by the side that we are assisting. We shouldn't be taking sides. We might have a role down the line in conflict resolution, in peacekeeping, but not in taking sides. Now, the recent history in North Africa has been awful in terms of NATO countries. We've seen in Tunisia, where Sarkozy's government were on the wrong side of the uprising there. They continued to stand by the dictator Ben Ali until the people rose up. They then moved in terms of Libya. Now, I think everybody in this room understands that Gaddafi was a terrible leader of the Libyan people, and at some point it was important to see him replaced with a proper democratic structure in Libya. But what happened was the NATO countries, particularly France and Britain, with the huge support of the United States, interpreted United Nations Security Resolution as a green light to go for regime removal. That was not what it was about. It was about protecting civilians from attack from the Gaddafi regime. And by doing that, they have delivered chaos to Libya. And of course, that has knocked on in terms of Syria and the possibility for a resolution there, because Russia and China were very alarmed about the intervention in Libya and the abuse of the UN Security Resolution. Now, think about this, folks. Look at the difference. We have illegal settlements ongoing in the West Bank. Palestinians have faced decades of injustice, have been, thanks, I've got 1 minute, have been humiliated from the period of the Nakba onwards. And the international community has stood idly by. Ireland's defence forces have not been deployed to Palestine to advise the people there about what they can do, but they are being deployed to Mali and they've been deployed to Afghanistan, along with these partnerships for peace and these EU battle groups. Yet the Irish people overwhelmingly stand by the Palestinian people, have always historically done that. So what's happening here is selective interpretation of UN Security Council resolutions, and is a very dangerous path to go down. We should be very proud of our neutrality. We have never stood idly by. We are very proud of our peacekeeping defence forces, and we will do it in the future. We can play a role in conflict resolution, and we are proud of our Irish aid, of our missionaries, of our support way beyond our capita, our population in the States. That's what it's about. Positive, active neutrality, independent engagement with the outside world, and none of this participation in what is a relic of the Cold War, NATO. It needs to be closed down, and we need a genuinely independent approach which addresses the real causes of conflict, which are poverty, injustice, disease. That's what we need. Thank you.